Hello, beautiful people. Thank you for joining me. I'm Snappy, and welcome to Drawing Down the Stars. And you're here for our live tarot session on today, July 19th, 2024. It's a beautiful, beautiful day. It's great to see you all. Let's start by shouting out the chat. Good evening, Kit Kat. Great to see you, Gandhi. Mushroom, good to see you. Graham, much love. Carrie Ann, good to see you. Christy, good to see you. Nikosmas, good evening. Carrie, good evening. And Mother Rhea, much love. Pleasure to see you all. This is going to be fantastic. Great to see you, Kata. Much love. Amazing. We're going to have some fun tonight. So, we're going to begin by talking a bit about the astrology. So the moon has moved into Capricorn, and this is intense energy, but it's beautiful energy, right? Capricorn is that powerful earth energy of ascending the mountain, of really being critical and engaging with the self, okay? It's that power to be truly reflective and think about what you want and what you desire and where you wish to go. Now is that time when you can truly build and you can truly go into those internal places and form clear images. What I mean by this is that in order to do anything, you must imagine a new future. You must imagine where you're going, who you wish to be, what you wish to do. You have to see a future representative. And right now is the time when you can build these images. You can go into the self and do this construction. You can connect to who you are and what you wish for. And it's deep transformative energy. And it really connects to when I was meditating this morning, thinking about what today's energy was going to be. I drew a tarot card and I was gifted the priestess. The high priestess is such incredible energy, and we had it right after the moon. You know, the priestess is that divine feminine who can connect to the universal flow, who can draw down the stars, who crosses the threshold. You know, the moon represents this transformative power of initiation, and the priestess is the one who goes through the initiation. She transmutes the poison into healing medicine, right? It's beautiful, beautiful energy. You know, and in the tarot of Lady Frida Harris, when you look at the priestess card, you'll see her behind the webs, behind the flow, pulling the threads, drawing it down, you know, connecting to that universal energy, being a conduit. And I wanted to read a couple things today, and I want to start with a poem by Khalil Gibran, an incredible poet. It's called On Reason and Passion. It goes, and the priestess spoke again and said, speak to us of reason and passion. And he answered, saying, your soul is oftentimes a battlefield upon which your reason and your judgment wage a war against your passion and your appetite. Would that I could be the peacemaker in your soul, that I might turn the discord and the rivalry of your elements into oneness and melody. But how shall I, unless you yourselves be also the peacemakers, nay, the lovers of all your elements? Your reason and your passion are the rudder and the sails of your seafaring soul. If either your sails or your rudder be broken, you can but tossed and drift, or else be held at a standstill in mid-seas. For reason, ruling alone, is a force confining in passion, unattended, is a flame that burns to its own destruction. Therefore, let your soul exalt your reason to the height of passion, that it may sing. And let it direct your passion with reason, that your passion may live through its own daily resurrection, and like the phoenix, rise above its own ashes. I would have you consider your judgment and your appetite, even as you would two loved guests in your house. Surely you would not honor one guest above the other, for he who is more mindful of one loses the love and the faith of both. Among the hills, when you sit in the cool shade of the white poplars, sharing the peace and serenity of distant fields and meadows, then let your heart say in silence, God rests in reason. And when the storm comes and the mighty wind shakes the forest and the thunder and the lightning proclaim the majesty of the sky, then let your heart say in awe, God moves in passion. And since you are a breath in God's sphere and a leaf in God's forest, you too should rest in reason and move in passion. Beautiful, right? Just incredible, incredible, incredible reason, incredible passion, incredible words. And two magical poles that drive us, that we need to move between. Who is the priestess but the one capable of moving between these poles? Who is the priestess but the one who initiates the passion, the passing of everything? What I mean by this is oftentimes people read this and they forget the very first line. And the priestess spoke again and said, speak to us of reason and passion. She initiates the dialogue, right? She pulls the strings. She helps people find the way and is illumined through the reason of others, as well as her own. Beautiful. And when I was thinking about this idea in this image of the priestess and what the priestess does and what initiation is, I was reading Crowley, and he speaks on this about how the priestess holds the keys and how she unlocks the door and allows you to be able to perceive the world through new eyes, to grant you the ears to hear, you know? And what does this mean? And what are the keys and what are the passwords? And I thought about in my own life, and I recognized that I have been given certain keys, and I can provide you with certain keys. And there's 3 keys I wish to provide you with. And tonight I'm going to provide you with one, and tomorrow I'll provide you with the other. But the first key for me, it always comes down to the literature, to the books. Books are magic. Books are gateways, are portals to initiation. They will transport you and grant you access if you allow them. And the first book I wish to recommend is the Book of Cain, or Cain, a Mystery by Lord Byron. And this is a book that should be treated as an eidolon, as an image of the deity Lucifer, and as a way to connect to that image in what it represents. And to highlight this, I'm going to read a passage for you all. Let me just pull this up here. And this comes from the mouth of Lucifer from Cain, a Mystery. Believe and sink not, doubt and perish. Thus would run the edict of the other god, who names me demon to his angels. They echo the sound to miserable things, which, knowing not beyond their shallow senses, worship the word which strikes their ear, and deem evil or good what is proclaimed to them in their abasement. I will have none such. Worship or worship not. Thou shalt behold the worlds beyond thy little world, nor be immersed for doubts beyond thy little life, with torture of my dooming. There will come an hour when, tossed upon some water drops, a man shall say to a man, believe in me and walk the waters. And the man shall walk the billows and be safe. I will not say believe in me as a conditional creed to save thee, but fly with me over the gulf of space in equal flight, and I will show what thou darest not deny, the history of past and present and of future worlds. People ask for a gate, they ask for initiation, they ask for knowledge. This is a gate. This is a knowledge. This is an answer. Lucifer can show you if you let him guide you. And if you listen to his words, he will take you on a journey across space and show you the truth of present, past, and future worlds. But to hear his words is to damn yourself. Books are dangerous. Books are magical. And that is an initiation, something to engage with if you so choose it. Beautiful, magical. So much fun. All right. We are now going to move to our sortes. We're going to start with Chapman's Homer. And for those of you who are unaware, the sortes is a form of bibliomancy, that is divination via literature. We invoke the goddesses of inspiration, the muses. We ask them to guide our hands, and we select a passage at random. We read those words, and we use those words to inspire us. So let us begin. Muses, guide my hand. What is our inspiration? That one whose veins are severed with human blood hath bought thy service, that gives competence of food, wine, cloth to thee, and sure the expense of thy life's date here is of good desert, whose labors not to thee alone impart sufficient food and housing, but to me, where I through my many I heaped humanity, have hither erred where thou like thou not sold, nor stayed like thee yet, nor not needful hold. Wow. Let's read that back. That one whose veins are served with human blood hath bought thy service, that gives competence of food, wine, cloth to thee, and sureth expense of thy life's date here is of good desert, whose labors not to thee alone impart sufficient food and housing, but to me, where I through many a heaped humanity have hither erred where thou like thou not sold, nor stayed like thee yet, nor not needful hold. This is the words of Zeus. Reminding that he is the one who grants us all of this. To me, this is interesting for when I just spoke so much about Lucifer and Cain and this idea of unshackling oneself and taking initiation. And here we have the rebuke. Jove has come to say, but you know, I provide you with shelter and security. I am the one who gave you blood. But remember, who speaks truth and who speaks ill? That's a question you need to figure out for yourself. Oh, that's interesting. Wow. Let's continue. We're going to go to the Decameron. Beautiful book. Boccaccio. Muses, guide my hand. What is the message from the Decameron? Inspire us. Okay. For which cause in this last feat of his, I will surely make his ears so tingle that he will give thee no more trouble. Wherefore, God's sake, let not thyself be so overcome by wrath as to tell it to any of thy kinsfolk, which might bring upon him a retribution greater than he deserves. Wow. For which cause in this last feed of his, I will surely make his ears so tingle that he will give thee no more trouble. Wherefore, for God's sake, let not thyself be so overcome by wrath as to tell it to any of thy kinsfolk, which might bring upon him a retribution greater than he deserves. What is the message here? You know, there is something to be said about speaking harshly. There's something to be said about negative language, especially in regards to a person. Even if your intention is not ill, even if your intention is simply to let off steam or to rant. Oftentimes your words, when spoken aloud, take on a different color. And you never know who's truly listening and how they interpret those words and how those words can then enter into the world, right? Be careful what you say. Speech is a type of magic, right? And if you speak in frustration, you bring about frustration. And I know that is hard, and we all need to rant, but be very careful who you rant to and about whom and for what reason. You know, we need to be careful of these sort of things and recognize that the universe, right? Nemesis is a way of unfolding, right? Justice prevails. You don't need to interfere. You know, the law of karma is a true law. All right, beautiful. Let us continue. We're going to go to In Tune with the Infinite by Ralph Waldo Trine. This is a very special book, right? Because not so much that it is a, you know, Christian Science sort of new thought, self-help type book, but you know, Ralph Waldo Trine is interesting, but what's truly interesting is Mr. Harry F. Given. I don't know if you guys can see that, but anyway, Harry F. Given, who owned this book, he annotated the whole thing. He cut out passages. He left his mark upon this book. He underlined specific things. And his insights are often far greater than this book. All right. Muses. What is the message from In Tune with the Infinite, Harry F. Given, and Ralph Waldo Trine? Okay. So Harry has underlined this passage for us. By taking this attitude of mind consciously now, and then it soon becomes a habit. And if one is deeply in earnest in regard to it, it puts into operation silent but subtle and powerful influences and affecting the desired results. By taking this attitude of mind consciously, now and then, it soon becomes a habit, right? If you consciously do something, you will form a habit and it will empower you in your life moving forward, right? And if one is deeply in earnest in regard to it, it puts into operation silent but subtle and powerful influences in affecting the desired results. What do you wish? You know, people often ask, how do I connect to the muse? Very easy way to connect to the muse. Thank the muse every day. That's it. Thank the muse every day and sit and listen in silence for 10 minutes after. You'll be surprised what happens. All right, beautiful. Let's continue. We're going to go to Q. Q is a really fun novel. I highly recommend people read it. Espionage, intricacies during the height of the Protestant Reformation. And if people are looking for an interesting rabbit hole, Google the Luther Blissett Project. All right. Muses, guide my hand. What is the message from Q? All right. This woman never ceases to astound me, you know. Donna Demetra, I think I'll make your fortune. Oh, I love this. This woman never ceases to astound me, you know. Donna Demetra, I think I'll make your fortune. Donna Demetra. Demeter, Demeter, the mother, goddess of nature, the great mother who gave birth to the Corey, right? Beautiful. You know, Donna Demetra, I think I'll make your fortune. Make her fortune. That is to connect to the Corey, right? Who brings the fortune. Persephone is the queen of the underworld, and she gives birth to fortune, literally, in the form of Plutos, wealth, the divine child. Beautiful. I love that. Donna Demetra. Oh, wow. Interesting. Fun, fun, fun. Oh, Fortuna. Okay. Let us go to Edgar Allan Poe. Beautiful. Muse, guide my hand. What is the message from Edgar Allan Poe? Inspire us this evening. I said, are you asleep? He made no answer, but I perceived a tremor about the lips and was thus induced to repeat the question again and again. Ooh. I said, are you asleep? He made no answer, but I perceived a tremor about the lips and was thus induced to repeat the question again and again. Are you sleeping? Are you awake? Did you pinch yourself, Mr. Valdemar? All right, that's fun. Interesting. You know, what is this question of asleep and awake? What is the dream and what is real? How do you know these things? We need to be present in our awareness. One of the keys to learning how to lucid dream is learning to recognize when you are dreaming. Beautiful. All right. We're going to go to Umberto Eco, The Name of the Rose. All right. Muse, guide my hand. What is the message from In the Name of the Rose? I asked him, however, whether it was not also true that lords and bishops accumulated possessions through tithes so that the shepherds were not fighting their true enemies. I asked him, however, whether it was not also true that lords and bishops accumulated possessions through tithes so that the shepherds were not fighting their true enemies. Always true. And there's always kind of a sort of social realist lens that you can view things through, right? One of the backdrops to The Name of the Rose is this religious tension among Christians and Jewish people. And what we're seeing here is this response from an educated monk about this hatred of Jewish people. But what we also need to recognize is that that is the opinion of the educated who can see things, and that the folk are often whipped up by other educated people with an agenda. Terrifying, right? Interesting. All right, we're going to hop over. This is a really fun book. This is called Hore. It's by Gabriel Macari, and it came out of this really amazing publishing house called Anathema Publishing, which is from Montreal, Canada. They do a bunch of really amazing esoteric works. This book is worth getting for the illustrations alone. It's just incredible. And they're illustrated by Jose Gabriel Alegria. Just beautiful art. But the book is alchemical and just beautiful in its own right and really worth digging into. All right. Let's see what the message is from Hore. Muses, guide my hand. What is the message? Inspire us. Okay. As the serpent's wavelengths expand, their distances growing between each crest and trough, the closer one approaches illumination. As the serpent's wavelengths expand, their distances growing between each crest and trough, the closer one approaches illumination. Wow. There's sort of this mystical image that we'll see in many different traditions. Sometimes it is a vine around a poplar tree, right? Other times it is a snake around an egg, or a snake around a phallus or a tree, right? But sometimes it is that kundalini up the spine, right? It's this idea of mystical transformation. It's the caduceus energy, right? Of the combining of these energies in the self and expanding and growing as one approaches that illumination. You know, and this is kind of an interesting thing. Anyone who engages in deep meditation, there's sort of a phenomenon that'll happen eventually where you'll start to feel the tingling that reaches up your spine, and eventually it'll come into your mouth, and it'll bring about this kind of a transformative almost taste, and you'll see colors in the back of your eyes, you know, and this can be really expanded and pushed to other levels, but it's truly this energy ascending through the body, and you can feel it like a physical uncoiling of a serpent. It's beautiful. All right, let's continue. We're going to go to my dear friend Graham's book, The Shape of My Will. Incredible poetry. All right. Muse, what is the message from Graham? Inspire us. No more will to speak, no ghost in this machine. No more will to speak, no ghost in this machine. This is a really profound statement and speaks a lot to this idea of the middle path, right? Lucifer, in many ways, is that middle path, is that going down and taking this central approach, right? And how do you gain the ears to hear? You have to stop speaking. You have to stop trying to assert your will upon reality. You have to start listening, right? And what's surprising is you're not going to find anything. There aren't any ghosts in the machine. What you'll find is far deeper if you can learn to listen. Beautiful. Wow. Oof, lots to think on with that imagery. And it's reminding me of something I read earlier today that I want to read for you, that I'm going to pull up here. Just give me a second. It's wild how these kind of synchronicities can happen, and you have to allow the muse to send you places. So I'm doing this long-going project with Dion for a new episode of Occult Explorers that's coming out, where we're going to dive deep into this image of the whip. And while looking through all these different sources for the whip and the scourge and all of this stuff, I came across this passage from Ovid's Metamorphosis about Lucifer in the middle way. And I want to read it for you all. And the stars took flight, while Lucifer, the last to quit his vigil, gathered that great host and disappeared from his celestial watch. And when his father Phoebus saw the earth and the wide universe in glowing tints arrayed, as waned the moon's diminished horns, far distant, then he bade the nimble Horae to yoke the steeds. At once the deities accomplished his commands and led the steeds. Ambrosia fed in snorting flames from out their spacious stalls and fixed their sounding bits. Then, with a hollow drug, their father touched the stripling's face to make him proof against the rapid flame, and wrought around his hair the sun's rays. I want to pause there, because this will remind everyone of the magic of Medea, okay? Then with the hollow drug, the father touched the stripling's face to make him proof against the rapid flame, and wrought around his hair the sun's rays. The hollow drug, proof against rapid flame, that brings the resounding sun's rays. Wow. Let me continue. But foreboding grief, he said, while many a sigh heaved from his anxious breast, if thou canst only heed thy father's voice, be sparing of the whip, and use with nerve the reins. For of their own accord the steeds will hasten. Difficult are they to check in full career. Thou must not drive the car directly through 5 circles, for the track takes a wide curve obliquely, and is bound by the extreme edge of 3 zones. Right? 3 zones. This is a recurring theme. Sea, underworld, and the celestial Olympian sphere. It avoids the southern pole, and it avoids the bear that roams the north. The way is plain. Traces of the wheel are manifest. Observe with care that both the earth and sky have their appropriate heat. Drive not too low, nor urge the chariot through the highest plain. For if thy course attain too great a height, thou wilt consume the mansions of the sky, and if too low, the land will scorch with heat. Take thou the middle plain, where all is safe, nor let the wheel turn over to the right and bear thee to the twisted snake, nor let it take thee to the altar on the left, so close to the earth, but steer thee the middle course. To fortune I commit thy fate, whose care for thee so reckless of thyself I pray. You must trust in fortune. Tie yourself to her, to Fortuna. While I am speaking, human night has touched the margin of Hesperian shores. 'Tis not for us to idle. We are called away. When bright aurora shines, the darkness flies. Take up the reins. But if thy stubborn breast be capable of change, use not our car. But heed my counsel while time permits, and while thy feet are on a solid base, but not according to thy foolish wish, pressing thy axle. Rather, let me light the world beneath thee, thy safe and wandering gaze. Lucifer is the light that shines the way. He will guide you. right? Rather let me light the world beneath thy safe and wandering gaze. What is the sign of the children of Helios but that bright and shining gaze? Helios is the center, the fifth layer, as Julian also tells us, the absolute middle, right? The path forward through transformation. That's where the magic is, in the center. Beautiful. All right. That was a wild one. This is a powerful episode. I'm so happy. Let's continue. Parvati Darpana. This book is very special for me. This was written by a professor I had, Harsha Videhasia, who transformed my life. They wrote the letter that allowed me to get my scholarship to study my master's in India in philosophy. So this is a really important book, and it's beautiful. All right. Muses, guide my hand. What is the message from Dr. Dehasia? After a few days, Shiva, with great difficulty, caused his beloved to reconcile to love sport. Having known the taste of love, she gradually abandoned her perverseness toward enjoyment. This is funny, and this is just powerful. What transforms matter? To transform it, you have to engage with it through love making, the sport of love that is intercourse, love making, right? Shiva engages in the process of making love with the matter, with Parvati, right? And together they are transformed by the process. She, the matter, gives up its pervasiveness and becomes pure, right? She no longer lusts for the world, but lusts for him, and vice versa, right? It's always an equal transformation. It's just beautiful that it is through the engagement, it is through love making, right? It is through pleasure. It is through the experience of the other. That's where the transformation lies. It's not in the restraint. It's not in the denial. It's not in these monastic screeds that would have you stare at the wall. It's in the exploration of love, right? In experiencing the matter. Beautiful. Okay. We're going to go to Stories of Vikramaditya. This is a fun one. And this will be the last one. Then I will hop over to Ganesha and then to our tarot. Sorry, we're going really long on the sortes, but I'm feeling it. It's a beautiful day. Okay. Stories of Vikramaditya. This is a really fun book. I picked this up at a thrift store here. There happens to be tons of people from India in the area that I live, and it's beautiful. Every once in a while, you find these incredible books. And this book is talking about the king of Ujjain, Vikramaditya, who's kind of like this ideal king. And there's some amazing tales in here. And this is originally was called The 32 Tales of the Throne. And it came out in around the 11th to 13th centuries. It's an anonymous kind of authorship, probably several authors over that period of time. All right. Muses, guide my hand. What is the message from the Vikramaditya? Okay. Mother, what you say is true, but I came hurrying to you in a special circumstance. What beautiful energy before we go. Mother, what you say is true, but I came hurrying to you in a special circumstance. It's always a special circumstance that we approach that great mother. And what she says is always true, you know? We must hurry after her. And the circumstances is always special. You make it special, right? Make it that true love. Wow. Love it. All right. We are now going to go to our Ganapati Ganesha Oracle. Okay. Lord of the threshold, Lord of the beginnings, the divine child, right? Beautiful, joyful energy, the one who must be propitiated first, Ganesha. Guide up my hand, muses. What is the inspiration? From the Lord of the Ganas. Revelation. What comes after initiation but revelation? A revealing. The cloud is removed, right? The veil is taken away. You know, engage with that literature, right? Really read the words. There's this whole type of imagery meditation you can do where you ascend the throne. The throne, right? That image of the great mother, right? Where is she seated? Upon the throne surrounded by lions. You embody that image. You become that image, ruling. And you manifest your will upon the world. And what you do is you ascend the throne, you become her, and you project your love for her and that image of her while you engage with the literature. And you will be surprised what is revealed. Is there a reading list? Yes, there is a reading list in the Discord in several different places. You can find it in the Temple Kleos tab. You can also find it pinned in the Lady Babylon tab. All right, we are now going to go to our tarot proper. But before we begin, please give me a like and a subscribe. The likes really do make a big difference. They really do boost everything in the algorithm. And if you are at all interested in a private reading, you can reach me, snappydts@gmail.com. You can also message me on the Myth and Lore Discord at Snappy or Lady Snappy. You can find all the information in the description below. Okay, so now we're going to do our tarot reading proper. And we are, as always, going to use the Thoth Tarot of Crowley and Lady Frida Harris. And we're going to invoke that power of Saturn Kronos, that God of wisdom, to dissect our life and put it on the plate, to examine the interconnections, and to try and overcome the conflicts, to learn how to best move and flow, how to evolve and adapt, and how to manifest our true will. And as always, the center card is the most important card. And today's card is the Tower. The Tower. Collapse. Transformation. Beginning anew. Right? This is deep energy. And it is painful energy. And it is also energy that is, as the center, we are reflecting upon. It is energy that is driving everything around us. And this is energy that must be overcome. Right? The tower needed to fall because it was built improperly. Now is the time to return to our foundation, to reflect upon where we need to go and where we wish to go, to build anew with that renewed reason and with renewed passion, right? This is that dragon, that Aries energy that has come to crash and break us. It comes randomly, without foresight. Unlike death, we can't see this coming, right? This is energy you cannot prepare. You can prepare for, but you cannot see. And this is what is driving our center card. It's also important to understand that the tower could be a fall or a failure from the past, right? Let's see. Interesting. Wow. The devil, right? The devil is powerful energy, Luciferian energy. The power to ascend the mountain, to manifest one's will, to transform and to build that tower. connected to this fall, Lucifer, the devil, gives you what you want, right? The question is always, did you ask for what was right? Did you manifest what you truly wanted? You have to really reflect upon why this tower fell, why this force of energy is here. Let's see where this is going. This is interesting. Hail Fortuna. Sometimes things just fall apart. The world just collapses. Life comes in like a wrecking ball. Right? Life comes in like a wrecking ball. It knocks everything down. It knocks you off your feet. Wow. But it's interesting. The devil has the power to move with Fortuna. The devil and fortune are deeply interconnected energies. And this is really intense, powerful energy to have in our center, as our middle. This is a fated collapse, but there is a transformation and a pursuit of one's will. What I'm seeing here is that this is a spurring of fortune and a spurring of transformation. We need to take this energy of the collapse and transform it into a new passionate building. Take that energy of Lucifer and build the tower better and more beautiful than before, right? Ride the wave of fortune. Where there was a fall, now there will be a glory. Tit for tat. Beautiful. Let's continue. Yeah. Connected to this tower in the top, we have that peace energy. This is where our mind needs to be at, to be in peace with this fall. What we're seeing here is that this tower, we were never fully committed. We understand why it is falling, and we are at peace with this outcome. We are learning to move beyond it. Where is this going? Beautiful. Valor, right? Having the strength to endure this upset. Valor is that energy of expansion, the 7, moving beyond the safety, security, and power of victory in the 6. As it tries to grow beyond that stability and power of the 6, it comes up shaky and uneven. The energy here is to be true to oneself, to be true to one's true passion, to stay emboldened. And we have that connected to that divine devil, that Lucifer energy, and to that peace. Wow. We were talking about the chariot of Lucifer earlier when we were reading that beautiful passage from Ovid's Metamorphosis. And here the chariot appears. How do we move through this collapse, this fiery transformation, this fall of the tower, right? We do it by donning the armor and by moving, right? The chariot takes the whip of movement in lashes, moves forward. You have to grab the reins, right? Lucifer tells us to grab the reins, to move and flow, to take the middle path, to don our honor and to follow our dharma, to move and flow, to take responsibility, Beautiful, beautiful energy. And this is such powerful top, right? Peace, valor, the chariot. Wow. We are overcoming this fall, this transformation in a very beautiful, beautiful way. Let's continue. Virtue. Even though there was a collapse, even though there is a loss, right? We are virtuous. We have remained pure through this fall. We have stayed true to our will and to our morals. And by doing so, we have come out of the collapse, not unscathed, but virtuous. And often being perceived as virtuous and being in virtue is a true power, right? To be able to come out of a fight or a collapse virtuous is strength indeed. Let us continue. Our old friend, the Prince of Discs. Wow. That young, masculine, outgoing energy, right? The one who tries to build the tower, but builds so with naivety, right? This is that energy of that young man who can come and potentially plow your fields, or he can move in like a bull in a china house and knock everything down, right? This is energy that must be nurtured and cared for, because the prince can become a knight. He can become a queen with the right guidance and love. But as he stands, he is unsure of himself. And there is a potential for recklessness, right? And we have him connected here to that virtuous energy, but also to the tower and to the devil. A lot of intense energy. Let's continue. But what is that prince doing? He's staying true to himself, and he's continuing on that path to draw down that star, to manifest his wish, to connect to that great divine feminine, right? Beautiful energy to see with this young person. You know, they're overcoming this fall, and they're transforming, and they're manifesting their will. Amazing. Wow. All right. Before I turn my camera, please give me a like and a subscribe. It really does make a big difference. And if you are at all interested in receiving a private reading, you can reach out to me at Snappy at ddts@gmail.com, or on the Myth and Lore Discord, Snappy or Lady Snappy. You can find all the information in the description. All right, let's take a look here at our full Saturn square. Okay. So this is our energy. This is what we're looking at. And we're going to begin over here with the devil, connected to that prince, into valor. Wow. What is the key to this powerful energy of Lucifer? Being true to oneself, being true upon the path, staying the course, manifesting one's will, right? Not that energy of the devil. It gives you what you want. You know, if you succumb and you fall, it is because you asked for the wrong things, or it's because you were not virtuous. You did not hold true to the path. So there's profound success, profound movement, profound ability. And this young man must be virtuous, must be valorous, must be true as he approaches this power to ascend the mountain, to manifest his will. But there's grand potential here, just as there's grand ability to fall. But manifesting that valor, we see this incredible strength here, right? The 7 is building upon that power of the 6. And the 6 is that success, that victory. And we're taking that energy and we are going forward in a valorous, bright light. We want to continue shining this as we manifest through the 8 and the 9 to the 10. And we come to that fiery completion, right? And we can do that with the power of the devil if we remain true and valorous. Okay, now let's continue over here and look at our center card. The tower, that collapse. And we are seeing here we are in the right frame of mind, and we are handling this situation powerfully. How are we doing this? By being at peace with the outcome, by accepting it, and by learning to balance the situation as best we can. And by being virtuous, right? By being true to our morals, by holding true, by not lashing out in anger, by letting what falls fall. You know, this is that energy of Athena in the Oresteia. When she comes into contact with the Furies, what does she do? She takes their violence, she takes their hit. They hit her shield. And then after they've exhausted themselves, she invites them to come sit and to eat in the temple and to join the conversation. And she calms them and transforms them into the humanities, the calmed ones, right? Being virtuous, holding true, not lashing out in anger, taking the violence and transforming it into love. That's the energy we have to face this collapse with, being at peace with the outcome. This is fated to happen. This is a good thing. This is a tower that we were unable to build, but we are moving past this in a truly transformative way of growth and expansion. Okay, let's go over here. The Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, this was meant to fall. This grand transformation, all of this failure of the past, all of this pain and suffering. This is fortune. This is the wheel unfolding as it should. And it's also about us engaging with this drawing down of the star, connecting and manifesting our will, right? And learning to move with the chariot, to don our armor, and to ride with fortune, right? To take the blows and to move forward along the path, to continue towards the star, right? Fortune is fickle and it will throw all kinds of things at us, right? And you must be able to take the hits, move forward. If you really wish to bring about your dreams and manifest them, you have to move towards it, right? Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, now let's do our crosses. We're going to start with this cross. How does the prince overcome the failure of the collapse, right? He dons the armor, and becomes that chariot and moves forward. He moves forward in growth and transformation, right? You can overcome this. You can let this go. This was meant to fall, and you can continue in your transformation. Beautiful. Then we go here. Even though we are seeing this fall of the tower and it's a setback, we are still on the path of manifesting our dreams, of connecting to that divine, of drawing down the star, of connecting to that goddess. We are on that path, and we just need to be true to ourselves, to continue in valor, to shine that light and move forward, right? This is the ongoing message here. Move forward in spite of the collapse. Build anew and better, right? Continue forward. Become that chariot and move, right? React to fortune, but continue to manifest that divine dream. Be valorous. Be true. All right. Well, I hope that resonated with you all. That's our tarot reading for today. Really, really beautiful. Love it. Okay. And to end tonight, we're going to do one final sortes. We're going to go to The Jaguar in the Priest, a beautiful book, an ethnography of Zetzel souls by Pedro Pitarch. All right. Muse, guide my hand. What is the message? What is our final inspiration this evening? While it is true that some of these objects like thread, combs, and soap have become mundane items in the ordinary world, others are very scarce. Even with the arrival of electricity, few homes have televisions and only a handful of small shops have refrigerators for cold drinks. Other goods like washing machines and fans simply cannot be found and have only been seen on trips to the city or in photographs. Now, in the Chibal, there is everything. They have everything. And everything those in the city have, everything the Castilians have, it's all there. They now know how to work these machines. They're ready to use them. Their images they have, things they imagine. They want everything. They buy it. It's like a city. Wow. The Chibal is the underworld, the afterlife. And he's saying that the spirits have everything in our world is mirrored in their world. And the spirits want everything and they buy it like a city. Right? That which is above is the same as that which is below. Beautiful. Interesting. Lots to think on. This was a powerful reading. I hope it resonated with you all. It certainly resonated with me. And I thank you all for joining me. Love seeing you. And I hope you will join with me again tomorrow for our daily tarot session. Peace and love. Take care.